One of the biggest stories in the octagon in 2023 was Sean Strickland's unlikely rise to a UFC championship. He starts the new year by looking to defend his belt against the very dangerous and difficult Dricus du Plessis. Here for the preview on UFC Breakdown is Sayif Saud from Fortis MMA. Happy New Year. What a year we had in 2023 on this show. And we're ready to hit the ground running in 24 with a great matchup at UFC 297 for the middleweight title.
You nailed it, Brennan. What a huge story. The newly minted middleweight champion, Sean Strickland, with that Philly shell defense, walking guys down, using that nice jab and that front kick, really cutting off the octagon, putting that amazing pressure that we saw him in all these main events. This guy's a main event fighter. He's really coming to his own. Also a BJJ black belt. He's very well-rounded. He takes on his first contender, Dricus du Plessis, who's a former Muay Thai champion, a very unorthodox striker, but he finds ways to connect with those power shots. He's really, really good in the clinch, very physical top game, very accurate, violent ground and pound. He's a formidable opponent, does some really good game planning, as we saw in the Robert Whittaker fight. These are two very unique guys, right? But they're very effective, a little bit different, a little unorthodox. It's really going to come down to execution, Brendan, to see who comes out on top in Toronto.
Well, du Plessis made a lot of doubters believers when he not only beat but finished Robert Whittaker as a big underdog last summer. He's undefeated in the octagon, and he has done so impressively. But we'll start with the champion as we go into fight focus. And you mentioned that Philly shell, that very unique style in mixed martial arts of one Sean Strickland, but it's been effective all the way to a belt.
Absolutely. There's the belt on his shoulder. I mean, we can't start with a better intro than him versus Fitzgerald and Sayif, one of the best, maybe middleweights ever. Okay, so let's break this down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. This was an incredible matchup because we know about Israel's ability on the feet. We know how complex he is. We've been breaking him down for the last few years here, and we're going to talk about some of the things that he does so well, and Sean Strickland was able to overcome them and actually even use them against him. So let's just play this right here. So this is the very beginning of the fight. This is the first round. All right, we talk about this all the time, right? Me specifically. Izzy's so good at pawing that distance, right? Once he gets that distance and he knows where he's at, he strikes from there because he's so long, he's so good with the range management. Let's watch what Sean Strickland does and how he uses that against him. So Izzy goes to try to grab Sean Strickland. Nope, he is going to grab Izzy's wrist himself. So we see the wrist grab, right? He's going to drive it this way. When he drives the arm this way, he's going to follow up with his own jab, pushing Izzy back against the fence. Watch the follow-up shot, the right hand. Okay, really slick stuff here from Sean Strickland, using Izzy's tools against him. Now let's just watch right here. We're going to see this theme over and over again. Izzy against a cage, he gets the high shell defense, right, and he kind of sits. Strickland is just watching here in the first round, making his reads. And you're going to watch Strickland as he's just watching. Watch him watch. He's just looking at Izzy, kind of seeing what his reaction is. He doesn't throw any punches. Just keep watching. And as he's seeing what Izzy's doing, he's looking at what his reactions are, waiting. He's not teeing off. He's not doing anything. He waits. He sees Izzy throws the left hand. He throws the left hand. Okay? But let's remember that because we're going to go back to it. So Sean Strickland using some tricks here against the champion, and we're going to see Izzy again is going to try to grab him, right, and use that feeler, but Strickland is going to use that against him. So when Izzy goes to try to grab, there goes Strickland. He's going to grab again, but not only with one hand, let's watch what he does with this hand. He's going to pull Izzy in and grab with both hands and pull him forward. Okay, now as he's lifting his leg up, let's go just a little bit more. There it is. He pulls him in while lifting up that front leg, threatening the front kick. Look at the position, right, that he put Izzy in. He backed him all the way up, right? He's using the hand game and the front kick to do what Izzy does to everybody else, which was just beyond impressive. And this is the first round. So now we see Izzy's reaction. Watch how slick Strickland is. He's going to release that grip and he's going to connect. Okay, so he's constantly tricking Izzy, kind of backing him up against the cage. And again, you're going to see the ending of this is that same position, right? That high shell. So Strickland's gamesmanship right in the beginning. First round. Okay, well, here we go. What you do is you build and you start getting reads, right? I do a little this, I do a little that, I get a reaction. I'm always building to try to really hurt an opponent and take him out. Let's watch this sequence here. Watch Sean Strickland's left hand. He's going to reach out here. Izzy's going to reach back. Now he feints the front kick. So we've got the reach with the wrist, and we've got the front kick. Izzy's calculating. Okay, I've seen this before. You just hit me with it twice. You're not hitting me with it again. So Izzy's going to start backing up here, try to slide out. He throws a left kick. Strickland, all right, let me get out of the way. And then watch this. We see that front kick. Again, Strickland out of the range. Strickland is going to cut Izzy off. Izzy's going to try to circle away here after this front kick and get away from the cage. He knows what Strickland wants to do, right? So he's just kind of trying to throw some things out there. Get away from me, let me circle out. But Strickland knows that. Look at how committed and focused he is, right? He gets him against the fence. We see the Philly shell. We've got this here for the left hand, very normal. And we know from when he studied Izzy the first 2 or 3 times, he backed him up against the cage. Izzy does this, and then he fires the left hand. Look at Strickland's hand position. And this really speaks to his fight IQ. He knows that Izzy likes to fire that lead hand. Here we go again. Izzy covers up. Strickland's making his read. He's thinking, okay, I think the left hand's coming. He throws the hook, and right as Izzy goes to throw the left hand, he smokes that right hand down the middle, crushes Izzy here. We're just gonna let this play. Gets this tight waist on him, and you can just see him going to town here. He set this right hand up the whole first round, backing him up against the fence, getting him to do that high guard, trying to peek out with that left hook. He smoked that right hand right down the middle, and we're gonna see it again. Right as Izzy opens up, boom. So Strickland is very good at setting up his strikes, backing guys up against the fence, setting them up for that big power shot. And if he can land this on one of arguably the best middleweights ever and the best strikers ever, he can land this on anybody. So Sean Strickland, the newly minted middleweight champion, dangerous on the feet, and also slick, will set up his strikes really well.
After he landed that big shot and kind of sent Israel reeling a little bit, his aggressive strikes kind of reminded me of what Dricus du Plessis has been known to do. He really brings aggression and a relentless striking pace once he has his opponents hurt.
Dricus is a Muay Thai champion, but he's unorthodox, right? It's a little bit different. It's a little funky. It looks a little different. But he uses that very well, and he's so good at switching his stances and creating these opportunities to land his power shot. So let's take a look at this. Again, I mean, guys, I've got so much, respect for Robert Whittaker. I think he's an incredible fighter, one of the best middleweights. And, going into this fight, I thought he was going to do a really good job here on the feet. And I've just got to give this guy tons of credit. He really showed how high level his striking can be. And also the game planning, I think, is very important. So here we see Robert Whittaker. He fires a kick, and this is typical Muay Thai. You kick me, I'm going to kick you. And we see that big step that he takes, and then he's just going to place that nice left kick. He likes that left kick. He will throw that left kick over and over again. He'll throw it to the head. He'll throw it to the legs, right? So look for that left kick to be used. He backs Robert Whittaker up, and we just see him, firing that return, cutting him off, getting in front of him. And as this fight started to progress, we can kind of tell, you know what? Maybe he's going to be able to hang with Robert Whittaker on the feet. And now we start getting to the gold. So Robert Whittaker, and we know this from breaking him down from the Izzy fights, he loves to do that sprint jab where he'll level change down and he'll kind of come in. Well, Dricus, his team, really studied that. And you can see he's watching him, and watch the way he studies his body movement and his level change. I'm just going to pull this in slow motion. We're going to see right when Robert Whittaker starts to go down low, there it is. He's in that down low sprint position. Dricus knows, you're coming straight at me. So he fought most of this fight in this southpaw position with his right hand as the lead. And you can see he's about to step on Robert Whittaker's foot, and right when he comes in, he's just going to hit him with that lead jab. And this is going to land really, really well. This isn't the shot that hurts him, but I think we both know it's coming. So he planned that. That was not luck, right? We see it once here, and we're going to come back to it. So he was reading Robert Whittaker's level changes in that sprint jab. A lot of really good film study. Again, Robert Whittaker fires the kick. We just see the Muay Thai skill here, right? Sweeping the leg out. Dricus handling everything very well here. This is a great performance. So then he fires the kick back. But I want you to watch how he explodes into this next part. So Whittaker's trying to kind of get away from him, but watch Dricus. He sees an opportunity. Watch him explode into this shot, this lead hand. Boom, right? he will explode and sprint into stuff. He's not a guy that throws in combination a lot, but when he sees an opportunity, he's really good about it. Gets Robert Whittaker against the fence, adds on a little bit. We see him timing Robert Whittaker and sprinting in and exploding in. And then finally, this was really an amazing moment for him. Knocks Robert Whittaker down, hurts him badly, and we're gonna see him pursue here. Switches back to orthodox, and he's in full pursuit. And really his finishing ability is something that we've got to talk about. Look at the location of these shots here. I mean, when he got Robert Whittaker hurt, he finished him, and that is not easy to do. And when we see this replay, we see the level change from Robert Whittaker. We see when he gets ready to sprint, Dricus steps in and throws that jab and times it really well. Hurts him bad with a jab, nonetheless. And we're gonna see the finishing. Look at this body shot. Look at the placement of the body shot. And now let's look at the placement of the follow-up shots. Watch this little short hook, hits him in the ear. Now watch this hook right here. I mean, the location and his ability to locate in these moments, right, is excellent. And he drops Robert Whittaker here. It was really that right hand that really put him out, didn't give him a chance to recover. If this guy hurts you, which I look for him to try to hurt Sean Strickland early, he definitely has a chance to put him out. So knockout power, 100% from Dricus, and really good game planning from this team.
And not just a power striker at distance, he's shown in close quarters that he can get it done. From the clinch, we'll stick with the challenger, Dricus du Plessis.
Absolutely, that Muay Thai background. He's really good at landing those knees and controlling his opponents in close quarters. So let's take a look. Here we see him against Brad Tavares, and we see Brad Tavares. This fight was a close fight, but we see him trying to back Dricus up here. Look at the way Dricus gets his hand from here around. You're Brad Tavares, you've got an underhook. You're like, okay, I'm driving you into the fence. I'm not in a bad spot at all here. You know, yeah, you got a hold of my head, but, you know, I'm good. Watch the way Dricus does this. This is just a lot of skill and a lot of years of practice. He's going to change his hand position and bring it from the back to kind of the side and kind of create a frame. Then he's going to use that frame to push. We know he's very strong, to push Tavares right into that knee, right? And he got his head from straight up to all the way to the side before he even hit the fence. And you can see Dricus now, his body is pointing this way. He didn't let himself back straight up. He created that angle and got that strike in before he allowed himself to get backed against the cage. So really nice stuff here by Dricus, landing in those close quarter situations. And here we just see another big knee. He's really good at grabbing the head and pulling it down and landing those big shots. So Strickland's gonna have to be careful. We know he likes to pressure forward, but when he gets close, big man's gonna grab him. So good stuff by Dricus inside the clinch.
On the other side, Sean Strickland, you can't fight in MMA for as long as he had and have the success that he has had without being well-versed everywhere. And, you know, he's known for his striking and his boxing ability, but in the clinch, he can handle himself just as he can on the ground.
Man, you know, as a coach, we always talk about the basics, and his ability with underhooks to utilize them to switch position, to hold guys against the fence or get out of trouble, it's really, really good. So just veteran stuff. I mean, you hit right on it. So let's take a look at Sean Strickland. So here he is offensively. He's in an offensive series, and he throws a big punch, and he misses. And these guys are kind of in clinch, but I want you to watch how he digs these underhooks. He's got one right here. You can see it. And he's working on the other one, right? But he's really good at getting both underhooks and taking guys all the way to the fence, right? And he, you know, at middleweight, we know he fought at welterweight, but at middleweight, he's shown incredible strength, right? And we're going to show him against all the best guys here. He's really able to push guys against the cage. This is going to be big because we don't know who's stronger, right? We can guess, but we don't know. So here he is, changing the positions, getting the underhook. So really good at just kind of controlling here. Very good with his head. We see him using his head, just being a dog, getting that head position underneath to try to elevate his opponent. All the right things. And now here we go off the break. We're going to watch Strickland. He likes to extend his arms out. He's very good at this. He grabs the bicep and he creates space. And right after he creates that space, he's going to land his shot. So we're going to see, here goes Strickland. He's creating that space. We see him kind of getting that arm as straight as he can. Again, pay attention to it. These are all the small things, but this is how he creates that and creates these opportunities. As he backs up, he just looks him in the face and goes, you know, I think I want to punch you right in your face. Here's the left hand, and let's get a little bit more because it's going to be right on the chin. Okay, so again, just these opportunities that he creates, you know, and like you said, that's just the veteran savvy that he has. So good work off the clinch. Now here he is again, and I put this in here because Cannonier is just so physical, right? And Dricus is very physical, right? They're both big guys, big, strong guys. And you don't know. Dricus might really try to pressure Strickland. In the Adesanya fight, Adesanya just kind of backed up the whole time. This is a look at if someone presses Sean forward, okay, which I think Dricus and his team are going to really try to do. And we see Sean here doing what he does. He tries to flip that little front kick out there, right? Kind of like, hey, get away from me, give me some space. Cannonier just gets out of the way. And here comes one, and Strickland's got his head straight back, and here comes two, right? Nails him with that cross. But let's watch how fast Strickland adapts. He's in a bad spot, just got hit with a big right hand. Watch what he does here. He gets against the fence. He gets right into the body. He's going to connect his hands here, right here. You see him connecting the hands. He doesn't have double underhooks. He only has one. But you're going to see him turn Cannonier, which that can't be easy. That's a big dude. We know he fought at heavyweight. Again, we see him working inside. Now, again, we see the double underhooks. We see one and we see two. So he's so good at jacking those underhooks up and switching positions and getting guys against the fence. And that's so important because this clinch happens so many times in the octagon, whether you want it to or whether you don't. And it's a good way for him to survive when he's in trouble against the fence. So really good work again defensively here in the clinch. And here we see him against Uriah Hall. And we show, again, his slick ability to create space. He's got the bicep. Uriah's holding here. Uriah's got an underhook. Not a terrible position, but watch how Strickland pushes away. Look at that left arm. He's going to extend that left arm all the way out. He's going to get space. He's going to create it, right? He's starting to push. And once he gets enough space, then he's going to strike. So we see the space. He keeps pushing. He's gauging the distance right now. Not yet, not yet, not yet. There it is, right? And that's close quarters. So he gets just enough space to land that strike. And once he gets backed up, now he starts adding on. One, and here comes the 1-2. Man, he barely missed that 2. And that's the 2 that put Izzy down. Now he goes back to the elbows and gets in close again. Nice job with his head position as well. So Sean Strickland will break off. He'll elbow, he'll punch, he'll use it defensively. These two on the clinch is going to be really interesting to watch and see who can win these positions. It's going to be really important.
A lot of people expect this fight, I would say, to stay on the feet. Certainly, Dricus du Plessis is known for power and aggression in the striking department, but we did show that takedown against Darren Till. So he has some grappling chops as well. How do you expect him to maybe use it against Sean Strickland?
This guy is so physical. I mean, he looks big here, and you've seen him in real life. He's a big guy. He's a big, strong guy. He uses his physicality and a blend of judo and wrestling to get these takedowns inside the octagon. He's also very good on top. Violent ground and pound. 10 submission wins. He's got a good squeeze as well. So, I think these guys are going to look at way back when Strickland was a welterweight, maybe Kamaru's fight. Strickland has not really gotten out-wrestled terribly at middleweight. I mean, he's lost decisions, right? He got KO'd by Pereira, but we haven't seen anyone take him down and control him. I think they're going to try. Whether they succeed is a different story. But let's take a look at Dricus here. So here he is. This isn't great positioning. I mean, the butt's way out in the air. He's all the way down. But he's so strong, he loads these legs, and you're going to see him. He's just going to peel Till basically off the fence right here. I mean, I don't even think he connects his hands here. Let's look. There's no connection. He's just going to pull and peel. That is not easy to do. But what he does afterwards is the impressive part. So now we see him. He's already got a hook. He's already got his position, and he's already working to hit, right? And I mean, that happened quick. He just took him down. He already passes. He's already getting the hook. And Till is already starting to feel that power. And we can see, watch Dricus, he's going to get a body triangle right here. And this is just so impressive for such a big guy. So he's starting to hit him, but let's watch him lock up the body triangle. Okay, we see him working on it. Right here, he's working on it. He doesn't quite have it locked. You want that to be behind your knee all the way locked or you're not stable. So we're going to see him lock that body triangle. Now it's locked, okay? So this is really important, guys. Always remember that, right? We've got to lock that. Now you see that other leg is even up in the air. This guy is going to balance himself, okay? He's probably 210 pounds inside the octagon, maybe at least 200, 205. He's got the wrist control. He has no base, and he is going to pound Darren Till from this position. So the strength to be able to hold himself up like that with that body triangle and pound away, very impressive physicality. And he breaks him back down, takes him back down. Here we go, the same fight. We're going to see what happens. So Darren Till guessed wrong that time, right? He guessed wrong. Well, what's Dricus going to try to do? Get him to guess wrong again, and he absolutely does. We're going to see Dricus come in with a little level change, and Till thinks it's a punch, right? So we see Till stay standing, and he throws his left hand, right? He plants, he throws the left hand. But Dricus is in a different spot. Dricus is already on that takedown. And we see Dricus drive to that double, great takedown. We see Till, credit to him, he's going to get this underhook while he's on the way back down, and he's going to try to throw him over, which was pretty cool. I got to give him credit for not quitting. He's going to try to throw Dricus over, but you're going to see Dricus just kind of get his bearings and then just watch this. Watch him just start unloading right away. He's just very smooth, man. He's always on task. So right when he gets position, we see Till trying to turn away, but we're just going to watch the detail work here by Dricus. We see Dricus, he's putting all of his weight on top of Till. There's no space, okay? We're going to watch this leg and we're going to watch this hook. He's already got this hand across the face. This hand hasn't connected. But you want to be like a sticker on top of somebody, right? You want to keep your body on them no matter where they go, right? We could say backpack when people move around, but you don't want any space anywhere. And you see how he's got all his body weight on him. And this is really the reason why he's going to finish, because Till does not have anywhere to go. And you're going to see. So he's going to connect his hands here. Now we see the connection, but we know, and our fans know too, I mean, this is not under the chin at all. I mean, this is across the face. But boy, it does not feel good. And when he puts his weight in it, I want everybody to pay attention to this foot and watch how he sneaks in this hook. Once he sneaks in the hook, that allows him to get that power and drive his hips down. So keep watching that. Now I want you to watch him drive his hips down, and you're going to watch Till's legs and body come up. And then he's got all that torque on Till's face, and that's why Till tapped. People are like, well, it wasn't under the chin. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. Look at his legs going up. This is the worst position to be in. And you see the squeeze, right? We talked about the subs. So really good at using all that size to get in there and get those finishes. Great work here by Dricus getting the finish against Darren Till. And we're going to show this because we know Strickland will go for takedowns sometimes. Here he's against Derek Brunson. He's throwing a leg kick. And Derek Brunson times this, and we see him trying to catch the leg, right? And we're going to see Dricus' takedown defense. Okay, he's pretty off balance here. Here comes Brunson. He's trying to finish his shot. Look at Dricus separating. And this is what you want to do. If I can separate your head from my body, you can't take me down. You need your head to be connected. So he separates here, and we're going to see Brunson. This was a crazy fight. Brunson tries to come back inside, and Dricus could go down here on top, which I think is important. But he doesn't. He's got a good position here. He could snap him down. But instead of doing that, he allows Brunson to kind of get back up. So we know that Dricus has takedown defense and he'll keep it on the feet. And that might come into play here. Don't be surprised if Strickland shoots a shot. So this is the third round. These guys were really tired. This was a high energy fight. And this is the ground and pound that we spoke about. I just want you to watch this shot. I'm just going to play it in slow motion. Watch this hammer fist to Derek Brunson. I mean, the violence level here is, right on the chin. Brunson survives that one. He looks like he's almost out right here, but you're going to see Brunson kind of come to life and kind of try to pick his head up, and this left hand just right on the chin, man. And you can see Brunson's eyes roll back. Devastating ground and pound, having the guy that size on top of you pounding. And we're going to see that the corner is going to actually throw in the towel here. And I absolutely agree with this. I think that it was a very good move by the corner. We see them here shortly. There they are throwing in the towel. And that was the right thing. Dricus is so powerful. If he gets on top of you and you can't move, he can put some real damage on you. And I look for him to try to do that at some point in this fight. I'm
interested to see what clips you use for Sean Strickland's grappling, because as you said, he'll shoot a takedown, but I can't off the top of my head think of the last time he did it, when he fought Abus Magomedov and Jared Cannonier and Alex Pereira and against Israel Adesanya. He's content to just go on the feet and play defense in his grappling.
It's funny, everybody thinks that, but when you watch the film, you see the grappling. So BJJ black belt, he will use his grappling. He's opportunistic about it as well. So here we go. We're going to use the takedown defense going right off of Dricus. We know Dricus in that same exact position, and we're just going to let this play. We're going to show you all the different things. Here he is trying to jack up the underhook, all the right stuff, okay, against Hermansson. But I got to give Hermansson credit. Hermansson doesn't give up. He's going to go to the single leg. and he's going to try to pull Sean Strickland away from the cage. Strickland's on that head. Remember, we talked about separating that head. Same as Dricus. He's trying to separate that head. But here we go. He pulls him away from the fence, Hermansson, and he is able to connect his hands, right? He went to that single dig, 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 dig. So now we've got a body lock, okay? A different defense. He takes Sean Strickland down right when he should be able to get the hooks. You see Sean Strickland pop up and get his butt up. And right when he does that, he kind of sends Hermansson up a little bit and he kind of loses his balance, right? And this just shows you how fast Sean Strickland can react because his cardio is so good. So he's right up and he's right back on the hands. You can see Hermansson still has the lock, but how fast Strickland popped up and got back to the fence. A+ work. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see as a coach. Once he gets to the fence, we're just going to watch him peel hands here. And this is so exhausting for the guy that's trying to hold you, which we got to see what Dricus' gas tank is like in the grappling. We see the wrist control here from Strickland. He's still not quite there. You want to turn inside and face and get an underhook. And he's just going to he's going to keep working. And then now he is back in that exact same spot he was in the beginning, right? He's got the underhook and now he's free. So Strickland is a goer with his takedown defense. It's very good. He's not going to lay still if he gets taken down or put against the cage. So here he is against Brendan Allen, and we got to give Brendan Allen some credit. Looked great in his last fight against Paul Craig, especially on the ground. We know he's a very good black belt. So we see Sean Strickland here, and he's throwing a punch, and this just shows you again, his grappling is there. He's landing a punch right here, and we see Brendan Allen throwing the left kick. We know Dricus likes to throw the left kick. So here comes the left kick. Watch how fast Sean Strickland just goes from punching to getting that leg. When you get this leg, this is a Muay Thai sweep. You hold the leg and then you actually run forward, right? And you push the other guy down. You literally hold his leg and push him down. He's going to try to push right into his chest and run him forward. And this is a Muay Thai sweep, but it takes really good timing, and Strickland showed that. So he's going to start running forward here. There's the push, and here comes the run. He doesn't quite get it, so he's going to try to sweep the leg, and now he's in the top position. So Strickland will get these takedowns, man, off of kicks too, which we know Dricus likes to throw. So what does he do when he's on top? Well, we talked about his pedigree. Very, very good on top, good ground and pound, good positioning. But here's the part I really want to get into. These guys are both very good here. If you get up, they're not going to just let go. They're going to hang on you. They're going to lean on you. Here comes some big knees. We're going to see a big knee here from Sean Strickland here in a second. Bang, there's one. And he's just all over Brendan Allen. So he doesn't give him a chance to rest. He knows how to really make guys work against the fence. And this is huge in MMA. So it all goes back to him. There's that tight waist again. Here we see the hand positioning. And now he's about to try to throw that hook in. It all goes back to the cardio. Can he just get that pace going and really wear Dricus down if they do grapple? So great stuff here by Sean Strickland. He will grapple. There's the footage to prove it. There it is. So people don't look at him that way, but he definitely has that in his game, and he'll utilize it.
And that was one of his first appearances in the middleweight division back in 2020. Before that, he was a welterweight, and that motorcycle accident that sidelined him for 2 years, man, that's just a blip on the radar now for Strickland. It's quite impressive. X factors for each. We'll start with the challenger. What do you say, X factor on Dricus du Plessis?
The power, man. The guy's got major power, right? He has shown knockout power inside the octagon. We know how durable Strickland is. He's not going to be an easy guy to get out of there, right? I mean, lost a split decision to Cannonier. The biggest chance I think Dricus has is to KO him or TKO him, to get him hurt. And he's very good at setting it up. We talked about how he switches stances and all his creative setup. So let's take a look at Dricus and the power that this guy possesses. Let me tell you something. The hardest reversal, one of the hardest reversals, is the Kimura. It's a power move, right? It's like, I'm a strong guy. Watch what I do. And when you take a look at this dude, look at him. Like, he's looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger right here. I mean, he's all blown up. The veins are everywhere. And this would be Trevin Giles' last fight at middleweight, probably because of this, right? The size. We're just going to let this play. Here's the Kimura. He's got this lock here for, let me explain it to our fans. Most of you guys know, since you guys are so smart. He's got this lock here, and he's trying to take this way, right? Well, that's all fine and dandy. Look at his body position. He's going this way. This has to be 100% strength, the way he executes this. The technique, I mean, yeah, it's there, but this is not easy to do. And watch what he does. He's going to take Giles all the way over to the top and complete that sweep. So that is a strongman move if I've ever seen one, especially in that position. Giles gets him up against the fence. Okay, he's in trouble. Let's see what he does here. Little rope-a-dope. Boom. Out go the lights. We talked about his ability to sprint into stuff. We talked about how he will sprint into things. Here he is, backed up against the cage, right? And you see Giles here, he's confident, he's doing good. I've got you backed up against the fence. I'm right where I need to be. And Dricus doesn't look like he's in a great spot. Look at where his feet are. They're even. He's not in a powerful stance. Watch the way he does this. He's going to bounce off the cage. This is the jab. And we see the huge mistake from Giles. Backing straight up in the what? In the A zone. You never back straight up in that line because you don't know what the other guy's going to do. Is it one punch? Is it two? Is it three? Is it four? Giles does not guess right here. And we see a huge right hand. I mean, the power that he's got in that shot. And you can see Giles is kind of out on his feet here. Look at his head. His eyes open up here. So Dricus can put you out with one shot just like that if you miscalculate. Here he is against Tavares again. We're going to show the front kick from Tavares, very similar to Strickland. Here's that front kick. Just out of the way here from Dricus. Okay, he's good at that distance management. So we see Dricus. He's in the orthodox stance, right? Everything is, here's the one, here's our two, okay? Tavares is making that read. Dricus gets out of the way of the kick, but before Tavares can even drop his foot back down, he already knows, all right, once you drop your foot down, you're going to be in my range. And that's exactly what he does. Once Tavares drops his foot, we see the range fire here. One, we're going to see a nice cross here. Two, okay, that's great, cool, all right. We see Tavares is swinging over the hook here. We see he really got, touched really good here, but we're not done. Again, we see Dricus is in the orthodox stance. Watch this foot. Dricus is going to take this foot. He is going to step forward to this spot right here, and he is going to switch to a overhand left while simultaneously stepping to southpaw. We're going to see this, and this is real tricky stuff. Here he steps forward. Watch this left hand. Boom. And this left hand hits him right on the chin. That's just not something you think, right? The guy goes 1-2 and then steps forward and throws this left hand. These are the things that he does. And watch how he wobbles Tavares here, backs him up, and Tavares is hurt right here. And we're going to see Tavares checking his nose, kind of like, oh, what was that? So there's Dricus and his slickness, right? And that's where I really think he's the most dangerous here for Strickland. The odd things that he does and where he can generate these power shots. And here he's against Perez, and this is why we don't spin, boys and girls. Don't spin at the wrong time for no reason when someone's close to you. We see Perez is going to try to spin here, and when he does try to throw that spin, look at this little short hook right here and the impact of it right on the side of the head. And this is right where the equilibrium is, and he is going to put Perez down here, but it's the follow-up shot I want you guys to see. This guy's so good at locating. Same with the Whitaker fight. Watch the follow-up shot. Here we go. He hits the ground, and he's face first right here. He's almost done, but it's this punch right on the chin. I mean, he calculated that as he was falling down and caught him right on the chin. And watch his head. He's done right there. So that was with the punch that really, really put him out. Dricus, tons of power. Not a guy that you want to mess with. And it's unorthodox, man. So you start thinking like, whatever, I got your timing. He backs up against the cage and explodes into something like that. Very dangerous guy. And I really feel like this is the X factor for him.
That's the X factor in the good column for Dricus. And I'll just say this because I know where you're going with Strickland. Rare that a championship opportunity comes without a 5-round fight. Yeah, and that's the case for Dricus du Plessis. The only other one I can think of off the top of my head is Sean O'Malley, who wasn't in a 5-round fight before he fought for gold. Strickland has been there over the course of 25 minutes repeatedly in his career.
Man, you nailed it, Brennan. Repeatedly, he has been in 6 main events in the UFC. 5 of them have went the full 25. This will be his 7th one. That kind of experience, I mean, there's no way to replace it. We have seen Dricus get tired in that Brunson fight. I mean, those guys were kind of all over the place. And, he came out on top, but I really feel like this is the deciding factor. Can Strickland put that gas on Dricus, deal with his power and all that other stuff, survive through that first 2 or 3 rounds, and then really pour on the gas tank. What does this guy look like in the 4th and 5th? We know what the champ looks like. So let's take a look. And here he is against the great Israel Adesanya. And this doesn't need an explanation. Look at how fired up he is. This is the 25th minute of this fight. He is walking him down, screaming, yelling, clinching, and he's not tired at all. I mean, and look at Adesanya, anyone would be tired after 25 minutes, but Sean Strickland's got a motor on him, and he is really coming into his own. So this is just an example. If he can do this against Israel Adesanya with no fear, I mean, what can he do? So hands up, and here he is against Cannonier, another very physical guy. He was gonna lose this fight by split decision, but look at him. This is the very last 10, 20 seconds of the fight. I mean, just throwing at Cannonier. And let me just say this. If you run out of gas, this is what happens with Sean Strickland. And he took this fight, I think, on like 4 days' notice or something. And he fought Magomed. The first round, Magomed kind of got him. I think maybe even on some of the judges' scorecards. And everyone was like, oh, wow. But Sean Strickland had this little smirk on his face like he knew a secret that nobody else knew. And he was right. Once you get tired against him, he will just hunt you down. And we see him hunt him down. And look at this punch. He doesn't care. This is from a southpaw position. This is a lead right hand. Watch this punch. Boom, the impact. He'll find you, man, because he's not tired. And here's what he's going to do. He's going to put those numbers on you in that volume, and he's going to finish the fight. So if Dricus has any moments where he kind of stalls or gets tired, similar to the Brunson fight, I'd look for Strickland to put it in overdrive and really try to finish the fight.
As you said, repeatedly been in main events and repeatedly gone the full 25 minutes has Sean Strickland. First 5-round opportunity in the UFC for Dricus du Plessis. Let's go to keys to victory, and interested to see how you sum it all up after going through all that game film. We'll start with the champ.
Got to push the pace, man. We just talked about the 5-round experience, how many main events he has, how much time he's put inside the octagon. And we know he gets stronger as the fight goes on. We know that he gets momentum and he keeps building his game, as we've shown. We don't know about Dricus. And obviously his team knows that. His camp knows this is the first 5-round fight. He's going to come out and push the pace heavy and quick. I think he needs combination striking. Dricus is really good at sprinting. Otherwise, he'll kind of go 1 and 2 at a time, right? He also kind of gets hit a little bit as the fight plays out because he gets a little bit tired. I feel like if Strickland can throw 3 and 4, kind of like that Cannonier, 4 and 5, he's going to end up landing those 4th and 5th shots and possibly hurting Dricus. Strickland's not a power puncher, but he can put you down, as we've shown. So I really look for him to set it up and put numbers on him and really try to wear him out. And lastly, he's got to win the scrambles. We know he can grapple. We showed that. But we don't know how it looks with Dricus on top, right? And no matter what, he doesn't want to be pressed against the fence with Dricus. He doesn't want to have Dricus controlling in the clinch. And he definitely doesn't want to be on the bottom of Dricus. So he's going to have to win the scrambles and really kind of be the one that continues to dictate how this fight plays out.
All right, let's shift to the challenger, Dricus du Plessis.
Okay, so the challenger, he's got to pressure forward early. He cannot let Strickland get that momentum going, because once he starts getting the momentum, man, we saw Alex Pereira just got him out of there early, and I really think that that's what he's going to try to do. They know how good his cardio is. He's never done 5 rounds in the UFC. So no matter how good it is, he's never done that. So they're really going to want to try to bank some rounds early, hurt Strickland, get ahead, so that way they've got options. And I think he's going to have to come forward, and he does. He's an aggressive guy, so I look for him to come forward in the beginning. He's got to utilize his grappling. The question mark we keep talking about is we don't know how that's going to look, right? Is his strength going to play a factor? Can he hold Strickland down, get some top position? We really haven't seen that at middleweight. We have not seen Strickland get controlled. We saw what happened against Hermanson. He can grapple, man, and he'll get out of those spots, but maybe Dricus can really expose him, get some top control, and hurt him early. Lastly, he's going to have to keep his back off the fence. All these clips, where does Strickland hurt people? Against the cage. He backs them up with his footwork. He gets them backing up and thinking with all the little things he's doing, and then he smokes them with that right hand down the middle. Strickland is simple, but very good at what he does. He cannot allow himself to get back against the fence. He's got to win all these exchanges and kind of try to dictate the pace as well.
Well, we haven't seen Dricus du Plessis tested over 5 rounds in the UFC. We also haven't seen him lose since he's been in the UFC. Dricus unbeaten in the octagon and looking to give the country of South Africa its first UFC champion. Meanwhile, Sean Strickland's rise in the MMA world as a personality of something. How about as a UFC champion now in 2023, and he looks to defend the belt in Toronto to start 2024. For Sayif Saud, I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. It's the headliner for the middleweight title at UFC 297. Enjoy the fight. Thanks for watching UFC Breakdown.